One of my subscribers has asked me to rebuild the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you like and or subscribe. If we get 100 likes on this video, I will be giving away a Mike Evans jersey. So all you got to do to enter this is like the video, subscribe. I will be checking if this video does hit 100 likes, and then I will announce it in my community post, whoever has won. But for the team, not going to waste any more time. Let's see if we can get 100 likes on this video. Baker Mayfield, he's actually been playing pretty well in real life. He's still a bridge QB. Let's be real, Buccaneers fans. This is not the guy for the future. Baker Mayfield, he's still a solid player, but he's not necessarily a QB1. I think he'll be a great backup. I think he's a solid bridge QB, but for the future, Baker Mayfield is not the guy. I think he may be able to sneak you guys in the playoffs, but for right now, again, it's a no. Rachaad White, it's just, realistically, yes, he's 24, he's young at Arizona State, 77, but in real life, he's not crazy. You can definitely upgrade at that position. Mike Evans, obviously a baller. He's been doing great this year with Baker Mayfield. Russell Gage, is it? Am I right about that? Yeah, Russell Gage from Atlanta. And then you got Chris Godwin, Cade Otton, a good offensive line when healthy. Ryan Jensen is out for the year, so I'm just going to move him down. Cody Mock, I believe is how you say that last name. Cody Mock is going to be the starting right guard just because of his hidden development. Interesting profile picture. Defensively, Kalijah Kancey, I thought was a real good steal at pick number 19 in the draft. This defense is getting older. Shaq Barrett, he's really regressed really far. He's not nearly what he used to be during the Tom Brady Super Bowl run era. Look at this. Look at the difference in these numbers throughout the years. 19, 8, 10 to 3. That's huge step down. But his contract, $29 million. I'm really not looking to pay that out. I'm probably going to cut him in his final year if I'm being honest. But the rest of the defense, Antoine Winfield Jr., Jermel Dean's pretty underrated, Carlton Davis. And I still think we need another edge rusher. Devin White isn't living up to his hype. Wasn't he a top 10 pick? He's not as crazy as a top 10 pick, but he's not bad either. But either way, it's now time to move into the midseason mark. Here we are at the midseason mark as we are 4-2, top of the division. Panthers are 1-5, so I guess it's realistic. Scouting national focus, it needs to be quarterback, even though the strength of the class is not QB, but it's also not a weakness. It has to be QB. Let's be real, Buccaneers fans. Baker is just a bridge QB. He's a nice bridge QB. He's not top tier quarterback, but let's see what we got for the re-signings. Mike Evans, I do want him back for the rest of the rebuild if he does want to stay. He re-signs Antoine Winfield Jr. Young has star dev, 90 overall. Of course, I want him back. He re-signs Devin White in real life. I don't know if he would get a contract extension, but in Madden, he's 25, young, has star dev. I'm going to give him a contract re-signing here. Ryan Neal isn't bad. Levante David, I want back. Greg Gaines, not really. Baker, he wouldn't be bad for another year, but I'm already looking for his replacement, and I'm not willing to spend money on him. I know he's going to want a lot of money because he's a 76. Yeah, $20 million a year is not something I'm going to give to Baker here. Levante David, I do want back. We don't have the money at the moment, so I may look to tag him at the end of the year, but I do want him back for at least another year. And apart from that, let's just move into the playoffs. Finishing 8-9 and barely missing the playoffs as the Falcons make it at 10-7. I can actually see this bracket happening in real life. Saints come up short, Falcons sneak in. Coming off a loss to the Panthers, I guess the Buccaneers didn't want to make the playoffs and wanted to tank. Baker, not a crazy season, but it's to be expected. 22nd best offense, 5th best defense, though. 3,800 yards, 25 touchdowns to 12 interceptions, 92 pass rating. It's not a bad season. It's obviously just not the future for us. Rachaad White gets 14 touchdowns, 3.7 per carry, really isn't good. Mike Evans, not even 1,000 yards. In real life, he's definitely going to get 1,000 yards, but great ball distribution here. Looking at it defensively, we have Levante David with 130 tackles for a loss, 18 for Vita Vea, sacks, 11.5 for Joe Tyron, or is it Tryon? Whatever. We're going to call him Joe. 11.5 sacks is great for him, especially for his development. 7 sacks for Vita Vea. 5.5 for William Goldston. I don't know who this is. 10 years experience. Interceptions, 3 for Devin White. Safeties on the team is 0 defensive touchdowns is 0. 8-9 team. Glad we didn't make the playoffs because I need a new QB. So apart from that, let's move into the offseason. And the Jaguars win the Super Bowl. Josh Allen, the edge rusher, wins the Super Bowl MVP. Dak Prescott wins the league MVP. Never going to happen. Oh, Vic, you mentioned that in every video. You're just a Dak hater. Absolutely. Not going to win league MVP in real life. I don't think he'll ever win league MVP in his entire career. Oh, you're just a hater. I am. Absolutely. I don't understand how people call him a top 10 QB. It's completely off topic. I know, but it annoys me and it frustrates me every day. Anyways, Lavonte David retires. That's going to clear a lot of cap, but that also isn't going to really hurt since he's an X Factor. X Factors in Madden make a huge difference. Let's see what we got here for the team upgrades. Going to refresh the roster so that way Ryan Jensen is starting. Cade Otton gets star dev. How old is Cade Otton? He is 25 years old. We're going to rock out with Cade Otton for the rest of the rebuild for sure. Mike Evans is regressing. Looks like Chris Godwin's regressing a little bit too. Defensively, Greg Gaines gets star dev. Did he have star dev before? I don't know. Anyone else here with an upgrade? No? We all look the same? I'm upset that Joe Tryon, whatever, didn't get an upgrade. But let's move into the re-signings. For the re-signings, we only have $6.5 million left. And Joe is here? Oh, he doesn't want to play here, and it's his fifth-year option. I do want him back. He had 11.5 sacks last year. If he gets another double-digit sack season, that could be superstar dev. We only have $6.5 million. We're losing Baker. We're losing Ryan Neal. I can't afford to pay him, so obviously I'm going to skip out on free agency and get to the draft. Going to be trading up with the Steelers here, trading away pick 16, a next year's first, and a this year's 6th-round pick for pick number 3 in the draft from the Steelers. Yes, the Steelers aren't going to have pick number 3 in the draft. Just deal with it. There's a QB on the board here that I want. He's the top QB in the class. Both these guys are good, but Donahue, I don't even want to pronounce that. Out of Florida State, 6'3", 255, elite strength, great throw power, not super athletic, but not bad either. He has A's across the board. He looks great, but Ben Carter, spelled with a D and not a T, out of UCLA, 6'1", 229, physicals a lot more athletic. Skills necessarily aren't there, but it's much more balanced than being all A's and then D's. He's much more balanced. Ben Carter out of UCLA, normal dev, really blows, but it is what it is. Maybe the other guy had hidden dev. B to C awareness is a little bit questionable. A's across the board. He's very athletic, 90 throw power, 83 speed, 89 acceleration. Normal dev, again, does suck, and we lose our first round pick next year, but it is what it is. He's going to be the QB of the future. In the second round, I'm picking a middle linebacker to replace Lavonte David. TJ Rainey out of South Carolina. Not super athletic, but not bad. 6'1", 250, hidden dev. A's and B's across the board. He looks good. This is the team, year number 2. Carter is only a 71 without the boost, which really sucks. Awareness is 67, but honestly, other than his awareness, he looks great. The awareness is the bad thing that's keeping his overall down. 87 short accuracy off rip is really good. Very balanced quarterback. Going to be wearing number 4 for us. Got this guy in like the 3rd round. Not that great, but he's going to be a filler player for now. He's got 2 great receivers. Cade Otton, who had a good season. Two really good offensive linemen there. Vita Vea is an X Factor. I guess I missed that last time. Rainey's a 73 overall. And Shaq Barrett, he didn't really get a lot of sacks in the last season. He has a bunch of cap. Can I trade away his contract? I don't want him. Does anyone want this guy? They do. 5th round pick for Shaq Barrett. I think that's fair because he has a horrible cap hit. Shaq Barrett to the Texans for a 5th. I did not want to keep his contract on this team, so that's what we're dealing with. And anything else here that I necessarily want? Specialist, Joe, Rainey, got all that. I'm going to sign a strong safety to replace Ryan Neal, considering, of course, that we didn't re-sign him. So let's go to the free agents, find a replacement strong safety just for this year, and then I'll draft a new one. Marcus Epps, definitely not a bad option here. 77 overall, 28 years old, normal dev. I believe Ryan Neal was an 80 overall, so it won't really make too much of a difference that this guy's here in place of Ryan Neal. And of course, I couldn't re-sign Ryan Neal, as I mentioned before. So we're just going to generate the best lineup once again. That looks good for me. Hopefully, our quarterback, Carter, can get Rookie of the Year. But anyways, guys, apart from that, let's move into year number 2 and the midseason mark. 1-6, bottom of the division. Carter sucks, dude. Actually, our passing game is 10th. The defense sucks. We lose Lavonte David and it's over. That's kind of how it works in Madden Simulation. X Factors are kind of everything. Also losing Shaq Barrett. I'm going to scout probably his outside linebacker strength of class. It's the same strengths as last year. I'm going to do outside linebacker so we can have a new edge rusher because that's definitely a need on our defense. Our defense is performing awful. Our offense is also, in points per game, is awful. Just everything's awful right now. Very bad times. We have weekly awards, though. Hopefully Carter had a good game. 28-26. Carter did have a good game. 337 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 3 sacks, 24 rushing yards. Not a crazy game. 2 passing touchdowns, and 337 yards as player of the week. Like, it's a good game for sure, but nothing like nuts. Tristan Wirfs, franchise left tackle. Of course, I want you back. Extra money, more years. Chris Godwin, I would like back for the rest of the rebuild, even if it's a little expensive. He wants more money. Carlton Davis, I wouldn't mind for the rest of the rebuild, even though he is 27 and will start regression soon. Russell Gage, I'm not interested in. Ryan Jensen, I'll work his contract as he ages down. So for right now, just 1 year. Marcus Epps, no. Just a replacement guy for now. A kicker, he's 22 years old. He wants to be here. It's a cheap contract. I don't want to keep signing kickers, so I'll just re-sign that one. Chris Godwin's the only questionable guy here left. But apart from that, hopefully Carter can pull it together, maybe get a star dev, and hopefully his defense can pull it together. 1-6, let's move into the playoffs. Finishing 3-14, and keep in mind we don't have a first-round pick. That is probably the worst situation we could have been in. Coming off a loss to the Vikings, very, very poor start for Carter. Ben Carter, not much different from Baker, if not a little bit worse. 29th best offense, 26th best defense. Ugh, that's so bad. 19 interceptions to 20 touchdowns and 83 pass rating. Rashad White, I gotta get a new running back. He's not gonna cut it. K. Dotton with the most receptions and the most yards on the team. Not ideal. I want Mike Evans or Chris Godwin getting that. Devin White, 134 tackles, 11 for Vita Vea for tackles for a loss. And who? My boy Dennis with 9.5 sacks. All right. Joe with only 5 interceptions. 1 for Joe. Not very many interceptions. Safety 0. Defensive touchdown 0. Not having this like top 2, if not the number 1 pick in the draft, blows right now. Let's move into the offseason. And the Cowboys lose back-to-back Super Bowls as the Dolphins take it by 3 points. 34-31. Tua wins the Super Bowl MVP. Dak Prescott wins back-to-back league MVPs. And really, Carter not getting Rookie of the Year. I mean, it was an awful season, but not getting that is a horrible start. That might just screw over the franchise. NFC South. Looks like Adam Thielen and Cameron Jordan both retire. It's a tough start. This is a really, really tough start, especially whenever I only have 4 years to rebuild a team. That's year number 2. We're going into year number 3. No upgrade to our quarterback. Ryan Jensen's going into oblivion. We're getting, Mike Evans is going into oblivion. Chris Godwin's going into oblivion. It's going to be a tough time. Rainey is a star dev. Rough time. Maybe we trade Chris Godwin. That might be a move. Let's move into the re-sign players. For the re-sign players, I think I'm just going to tag Chris Godwin here. I'm going to give him a team-friendly. If he doesn't accept it, I'll just tag him here. He wants to test out free agency. I'm going to tag and trade him because I think that's what's best for us long-term. Tagging and trading. I need a first-round pick. It has to happen. But let's move into free agency. So for some reason, the Rams are willing to give up Puka Nacua, 24-year-old superstar wide receiver, and a 6th-round pick for Chris Godwin. Absolutely. Oh, this is an unrealistic rebuild now. I don't care. It's only a 6th-round pick. We're giving up a higher overall receiver who's currently better than Puka Nacua. I'm investing long-term. Rams are once again trading away their future for the now. So that's a typical Rams thing to do. I think it's pretty realistic. Obviously not the trade, but pretty typical of the Rams to do. Let's get into free agency. After free agency, getting Nick Chubb, fixing our running back situation, and Wyatt Teller to help on the offensive line now that Ryan Jensen is regressing. So let's move into the draft. In the second round, at pick number 2 in the second round, Caleb Warner, missed, dude. Normal dev, 90 strength is really good for a rookie, but 6'5", 270. The normal dev blows. He's an A hit power, A tackle. He looked good, but evidently not. In the third round, I'm picking up strong safety, Telvin Key out of UCLA, 5'11", 207, hidden dev, 91 speed, 86 acceleration, B hit power, B man coverage, B awareness. In the fourth round, I'm picking up Ryan Jensen's replacement, right guard Tommy Street, who I'm going to move to center. Georgia, 6'4", 324 pounds, hidden dev, 87 strength, A's and B's across the board for a 4th round pick. He looks great. Now, this is the team going into year number 3. We need Carter to perform better. Got him Puka Nacua, baby. Look at that man. What a handsome dude. No homo. Got Noah Brown in free agency. Got Trey Palmer. I believe he was already here. Street is a 71 overall right guard. He's going to be a 69 overall center. nice. And of course, he's going to replace Ryan Jensen eventually. So I'm going to move him to center now because we will need him for the next season. Hopefully, he goes up a little bit as well. Maybe he has superstar, probably not. Defensively, though, Key is a 74 overall. He was actually a day 3 guy that I picked up in the early 3rd round, but he looks pretty good right now. And I did not click on that guy, Christian Eisen. Eisen's a hard last name. Bleach reference, but let's see what we got for this year. Joe is really our only edge rusher here, which is really unfortunate. Can I put Kalijah Cansey at rush right end, please? And I want Nick Chubb being my every down back. Puka Nakua's in the slot and wide receiver one. I don't know how that necessarily works, but I'm not going to argue with it. Anyways, let's move into the depth chart and put Kalijah Cansey at rush right end because his talent's being wasted at second string rush defensive tackle. Kalijah Cansey, he's an 81 overall edge rusher. You're telling me this now? He could have been doing this entire time, and the AI didn't do that? What sense does that make? Let's move in to the midseason mark. 4-2, 3rd in division though, because it is a highly contested division. That is unfortunate. What do we necessarily need? I think, honestly, Nick Chubb is what's carrying the offense. If I'm not going to lie, having a superstar X-Factor running back is massive for Madden simulation. Like, you guys don't understand. Superstar DBs and superstar edge rusher, superstar quarterback, obviously, and superstar running back are the biggest things you can do for Madden simulation. Passing game 14th, rushing game is 13th. Our points per game is 4, though. Defensive points per game is 15. We don't have the division secured yet. We have a hard schedule with, obviously, the Niners here, who are 5-1, 88 overall team. We're going to have a rough time. We're going to have a rough time for sure. Rachaad White, he wouldn't be bad depth, but I'm not willing to pay depth $5 million a year. It's just not happening. Joe, I want back. I'm going to have to pay him extra money because he just doesn't want to be here. Cade Otton, what do you want? He wants a mentor. This always happens with me where I always have to sign some type of mentor. And honestly, it wastes so much time to where I'm not going to do it. I have the money. I'm not paying a quarterback. It just wastes so much time. The mentor thing is stupid because you can sign one in free agency at any point in time, but it wastes so much time trying to go in and get one, adjust your roster, and I don't want to readjust Kalijah Cansey. Zion McCollum, I do want just as depth, 3-year, not that expensive. Luke is not bad. He wants the team to have a franchise quarterback that could change at the end of the season with how we're looking right now. Ryan Jensen, I'm going to move on. He doesn't want to be here. And everyone else here, Kalijah Cansey. Our punter, sure. I'll take Jake Carmada. Doesn't matter to me. I don't want the AI to keep re-signing punters over and over. And he doesn't want to be here. He's being picky with his contract. Dude, you're a punter, and I give you 5 years. I give you 5 years of security, dude. Come on. Let's move into the playoffs. 8-9 missed the playoffs. Team ranks mid. Everything's just mid. God. Ben Carter, significant improvement. Significant improvement. 9th best offense in the NFL, 17th best defense, and we go 8-9 and miss the playoffs. 4,000 yards, 29 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, almost 100 pass rating. It's not crazy, but it's definitely a significant improvement. Nick Chubb, 11 touchdowns, 5.5 per carry, 1,400 yards. Way better than Rachaad White. Puka Nacua, 1,100 yards, 12 touchdowns. Cade Otton, 11 touchdowns, 1,000 yards is a great season. Mike Evans doing literally nothing. Defensively, we have Devin White, 157 tackles for a loss, 17 for Kalijah Cansey is great. Sacks, 8 for Joe, 7.5 for Vita Vea. 3 interceptions for Anton Winfield Jr. Safety, 0 defensive touchdowns. I don't even know. I just backed up. I'm not going to go back. Who cares? 4th and final season coming up. Let's move into the offseason. And the Falcons beat the Bengals in the Super Bowl. Bijan Robinson wins the Super Bowl MVP. Joe Burrow wins the league MVP. It seems like the Super Bowl losers, Dak, back-to-back had not Super Bowl, but league MVP. And he lost the Super Bowl twice in a row. Now Joe Burrow loses the Super Bowl, and he gets the league MVP. Interesting. No Buccaneers here for defensive or offensive player of the year, which is unfortunate. 2025 retirements, NFC North. I got to actually look at this right this time. Tyrann Mathieu, Jimmy Ward, Mitch Morse, Jake Matthews all retire. No Tampa Bay Buccaneers retire for us, which is good. And adjust the lineup. Let's see what we got here. Any upgrades, please, to the quarterback? Please? No, nothing to the quarterback. Cade Otton gets superstar dev. That's awesome. Street only has star dev. That's fine. Puka Nacua, surprised he didn't get X Factor. Mike Evans is regressing into the ground. Devin White gets superstar dev, something that Buccaneers fans probably won't ever hear in real life. And Key has star dev. Anything else here? No. Let's ball out in free agency. Let's go get someone. Where's even my right end that I selected in the draft? Where even is he at? I selected him as my first pick in the 2nd round. Warner, 76 overall. He's my right end, isn't he? Why isn't he playing right end? I selected you in the first round and you're a backup? I mean, in the second round, dude. Anyways, let's move into the re-signings. For the players ready to negotiate, not going to accept a collage. Actually, I might play a 5th year, so just accept that. Rashad White, I'm not going to pay you $5 million a year to be mid. Luke, I want you back for the rest of the rebuild. You're not crazy, but you are 79, so it's not bad. Ryan Jensen doesn't want to be here. I'm not going to force him to be here. I already have his replacements. And once again, Jake Armada. I'm going to give you the exact same offer, dude. Come on. There you go. Finally came to your senses that you're a punter. Anyways, let's move into free agency, see if we can find a baller. After free agency, we needed a baller edge rusher. We got one. Trey Hendrickson, who I moved to right outside linebacker, 89 overall. Teron Johnson at depth at the defensive back position. It just seems like he would be a Buccaneer. I don't know if I'm wrong about that. Let me know down in the comments below. Tyler Lockett as a receiver 3 to cover for the underperforming Mike Evans. Let's move into the draft where we actually get a first-round pick. In the first round, picking best player available, I wanted a linebacker, but there wasn't any good linebackers apparently until round 3, and this is round 1. So defensive back, Doug Haggins out of Ohio State, 90 speed, 95 acceleration. Only 5'10", but he does have hidden dev, which is finally something I haven't had in quite a minute, so I'm glad we got him. Now this is the team after the draft. Hopefully Carter can actually put up some real numbers here. Got him Tyler Lockett. He has a great offensive line, great players. Nick Chubb around him as well. Got Trey Hendrickson on the defense. Got this guy in the second round, Dante Jackson. Haggins is an 80 overall. That's actually a really good pick. Got so much depth here. It's honestly crazy. Gonna put Haggins in the slot. And yeah, with that, year number 4. Better make the playoffs. I have honestly a really stacked team other than my QB. I have an 88 overall team. Come on now. Let's move in to the playoffs. Carter finally pulls through, but coming off a loss to the Bengals prevents us from getting the first seed. But we are 13-4 here to face the 8-9 divisional rivals, the Atlanta Falcons. We're an 89 overall team. They're an 86 overall team, so it should be a close game, but still, they're an 89 overall. Ben Carter's actually a baller now. Second best offense in the NFL, 6th best defense. If this was a 10-year rebuild, it would be different. Carter, 7th for league MVP right now. Dude, 4,400 yards, 38 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 110 pass rating. It just took a little bit of development, all right? Just took a little bit of development. He's actually a baller now. Rushing-wise, Nick Chubb, 20 touchdowns, 5.1 per carry, 1,400 yards. Puka Nacua, 1,200 yards, 13 touchdowns. Mike Evans doing a little bit more this year. 9 touchdowns, 800 yards, definitely a solid season. Tyler Lockett with the solid season, but only 2 touchdowns. Looking at it defensively, Devin White with 129 tackles for a loss, 23 for Vita Vea, sacks, 9.5 for Joe, 8 for Vita Vea, 8 for Trey Hendrickson, 6.5 for Kalijah Kancey. Interceptions, 3 for Jamel Dean. Safeties, 0 defensive touchdowns is 1 for Jamel Dean. So, hopefully we do not get upset by the Falcons here, but it happens a lot in my videos, especially in the final season. But if we progress, I will hop in. I never play the wild card. There's just no point. 28-21, a lot closer than I would like it to be. Here to face the 10-7 Minnesota Vikings, but who is their quarterback? It's not Josh Dobbs, I don't think, unless he's suddenly a god like how he is in real life. It's going to be Dom. Oh, this is the guy that we passed on. Dang. Dom is a 92 overall superstar. I traded up for Carter and passed on Dom. Because, wow, I guess I'm just the worst drafter ever. Not really. I draft X Factors all the time. But anyways, we're going to have to beat this guy and prove that Carter's the better QB after 3 years. Let's move into it. Here we are against the Vikings. They're going to start out with 3 points. We're going to start out with nothing. Dude, come on. Don't punt in your opponent's territory. Go for it. I don't care if it's 4th and 10. 3-7 at halftime. Very low scoring game. 10-7 now. Come on, 10-10. You got to do more than this, AI. You have to do more than this. It's getting frustrating. And the game is making me pause. I can't do anything. I don't want to play defense here. I'll let the AI do it. They're most likely going to score. And they do. Big end game drive. I'm going to have to do it. What does this game want from me? I know you guys can't see it, but it's asking me that I can't hold any more storage for the game. I'll delete it later, all right? 1st and 10, K. Dotton is wide open. I don't know what you're doing. K. Dotton, how is that poor accuracy? It's 1st and 10. The game is making me pause again. 1st and 10. Let's see what we got. Puka Nacua underneath. Nice pass. Nice pass, dude. Yeah, so I'm just going to have to switch back to key moments. Thank God they're actually playing well here. 3rd down alerts. They get the 7 points. I have to switch back to key moments because the AI just keeps making me stop. We're in overtime. And I'm going to have to do this, even though it keeps asking me to stop the game and, like, uninstall some things. I'm not doing that right now, game, all right? Second down and 8. What do we got? Looking for Mike Evans. I'm going to have him. Yes, he actually threw a good pass. Thank God. QB accuracy in Madden is total garbage, and it keeps making me pause the game. I'm going to lose my mind how bad EA is at making games. So I'm just going to kick the field goal and end it. And it is up, and it is right down the middle. We're moving on. It's making me pause the game again, dude. God, I'm going to have to go out and delete some things, then resume my recording. But we're going to be moving on to the divisional round if, again, it will let me get past this point. Thank God. We're going to win 20-17. Let's move into the conference championship. Here we are in the conference championship, and this is where it's going to end probably because, you know, it's the Cowboys. I wouldn't be surprised if they go back to another Super Bowl in simulation. But a 90 overall Buccaneers team versus the 89 overall Cowboys team. Let's move into it. Here we are against the Cowboys as they're going to start out with nothing, but we're going to start out with 7. They're going to respond with 7. We're going to respond with another 7 against them. Surprised their offense is playing this well. I hope I don't jinx us. 21-7. Come on. And I jinxed it. No, they're not playing well. And I jinxed it again. 24-7. Defense is holding strong here. 31-14. And we actually beat the Cowboys to move on to the Super Bowl. There's no need for me to jump in. Dude. Ben Carter's actually a baller now. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, perfect passer rating, 20 for 24, 308 yards. He's actually a baller now. Let's move into the Super Bowl. I'm not going to lie, a 10-year rebuild would have been sick with this thing, and it's funny how we faced the Vikings quarterback who we chose Ben Carter over, and now we're facing the Steelers who we traded both of our first-round picks to. 2 first-round picks for this quarterback just to move up. Their QB is still Kenny Pickett, 85 overall, star dev. We're going to be playing them, seeing if our 2 first-round picks that we trade away will pay off, and we're going to prevent these Steelers from getting their 7th Super Bowl ring. But let's see what we have here. Carter does get star dev. Puka Nacua, superstar X Factor. I really think Carter should get superstar after being top 10 for MVP, but I'm not going to change it. It is what it is. Defensively, any upgrades? No, I don't see any. Haggins only has star dev. I hate how players with super high overalls never have like super good developments. They're just like, star's the best we can do. Anyways, we're here to face the Pittsburgh Steelers who are an 87 overall. Here we are against the Steelers. They're going to start out with nothing. We're going to start out with nothing. So many punts here, but they had a huge run. We're going to finally tie it up 7-7 in the second quarter. Only 6-minute quarters, 14-7, and it's going to be 14-7 at halftime. 7-21. Well, I need to jump in here. I mean, Carter's a baller, bro. Well, I guess he was worth it in the end in the final season, but I don't want to speak too soon. I'm gonna play this so that way I can get in field goal range and just pin the game-winning field goal and just end the game. Second one, of course, I'm gonna hand it off to Nick Chubb. Why would I not? Whenever he's this big body, juke back to the inside. Doesn't really have the jukes, but still has the power. 1st and 10. 1st and 10, right back to Nick Chubb, who's gonna get wrapped up by Minka. They're gonna start their timeouts. 2nd and 5, right back here to Nick Chubb, right up the gut. Nick Chubb with the power. They're going to keep using timeouts, but it doesn't matter. The game is already over. 1st and 10, once again, Nick Chubb to the outside with the speed. Nick Chubb powering forward, another 1st and 10. 1st and 10, Nick Chubb once again. Nick Chubb up the field. I'll just take the touchdown, sure. I mean, it gives them a chance to come back, but we'll take the touchdown. Send this one to the Steelers. They have a chance here. They might do it with 15 seconds left. Can I hold them? Oh, that just actually helps me by jumping in. They had no more timeouts. 31-24 as Ben Carter redeems himself in the final year with this great team, 90 overall team, stacked team that I built. He had a really good season, 31-24. The gamble pays off, and that is going to be it for the video. Make sure you guys like and or subscribe and tell me which team you want me to rebuild next. I appreciate you guys all for watching the video, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.